What's up, nerds? Welcome to a POW Block expansion pack here on NGR Radio. Remember, you can find expansion pack on Mondays at noon right here on ngrradio.com and youtube.com/ngrradio. Like, subscribe, and share. Hit the button. Hit the bell. All that stuff that you're supposed to do on the YouTube things. And download POW Block every Tuesday and Friday on your podcast service of choice. But now, Ed's with me. I forgot to mention that. Ed, that retro code right there.
Hi,
right
everybody.
There. Woo! How are you, Ed? How's it going?
I am doing good. A little bit frustrated with Ori and the Blind Forest, but so happy to doing this expansion pass for everybody. Like, I love our expansion discussions. They're really well. I love any discussion because it's just have fun doing it. But this discussion, I'm really going to enjoy.
And what is this discussion today, Ed?
Well, everybody, by the time you watch this on Saturday, March 24th, it is the 15th
No, this one's
anniversary.
going up on Monday. It's Monday.
Well, I'm saying as of March 24th.
Oh,
which
right.
is Saturday, time of our recording.
Nailed it.
Yes. At the time of our recording, today is the celebration of the Legend of Zelda, the Wind Waker. The original one that came on GameCube is the North American release. So it is like 15 years that game has been out. And as everybody know that there was a Wii U HD remaster for Wii U. And of course, like me and Corey, we had to go out and buy it. Like I said, that's the one reason that I bought Grand Theft Auto 5, so I could buy, so I get a $40 gift card and only pay $20 for Wind Waker. But this game, we're gonna have a discussion about it. And this game, I remember when people saw the reveal and they just booed it. They hated it.
I know. Because the reason why they booed it is because you remember when they revealed the GameCube, they showed that highlight reel.
Yeah.
They showed Link fighting Ganon in like this really, well, at the time, like super awesome graphics, like of pretty much the Ocarina of Time style art, but like super just awesome fight scene between Ganon and Link. And then, they're like, okay, Zelda's coming. They showed off Pikmin for the first time. They showed off Luigi's Mansion and Metroid and Star Wars. They showed like all this stuff at the reveal. And then like what we got was Wind Waker, which disappointed a lot of people because at the time graphics were still like, if they're not the best looking graphics, like quote unquote realistic looking graphics, we don't want it. Like it's different now because we have awesome pixel art indie games. We have awesome, awesome art styles like
Yoshi Woolly World and
Kirby and like all these other cool graphical styles that Nintendo uses now and other companies and independent developers and everything. I'm turning myself down here on this audio a little bit. It's kind of peaking. But at the time, like nobody wanted that. They wanted PS2 looking graphics and like the realistic side of things. And I think that's part of why Halo kind of took off so much and Rainbow Six and Ghost Recon on the Xbox and stuff. So Wind Waker was kind of disappointing to a lot of people.
Yes.
and
a lot of people who don't know like the cell shaded era where kind of Sega started off with Jet Set Radio and how beautiful the game looked. It had crisp, clean, bold lines, but the drawing was really funky. The colors, were so it had a neon dark look to it with this purples and yellows and it's reds and the blacks and stuff. Like you could see that they were going for incorporating animation into video games. You haven't really seen nothing that fluid ever before. So when Nintendo actually took this on, a lot of people who did, just like you said, Corey, about the graphics and everything, they didn't realize that the game had this kitty expression of looking like a cartoon, but done so well. Like people, this is one of the I'm not gonna play it because this is not what I want kind of viewpoints and opinions about the game. And then it comes out and it takes game of the year. It blows everybody mind. Everybody just like, what the heck is this and why is it so good? Like people didn't realize how expressive, how fluid, how Link could just do the stuff that he does in this game while still looking good, keeping up the comedy. Him just shipping in water. Like people say, why do Nintendo have the best graphics for water?
Right.
Like it was a new standard in art and graphics for Nintendo in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
And like, I'm not gonna lie, like I was at a point in my life where like I kind of wanted to see more of Ocarina of Time, but I wasn't like pitchfork and torches out being like, hey, where's my Zelda game? I was like, I give every Zelda a chance. We grew up with like man, why does this sound so weird in my ear? We grew up playing NES and Super Nintendo games, and anything that looked quote unquote better than that. Not that like 16-bit stuff is bad. I'm just saying like N64 and GameCube, like those graphics, like we wanted to see those graphics progress, and like Wind Waker was so different on the other end of the spectrum. And today, like that game still holds up. You look at the GameCube version of that game, it still holds up. I mean, it's not as clean as the Wii U version, but it is it is definitely still one of the best looking GameCube games. Because of the art style. And Nintendo was smart to go like, hey, we're going to try to do something that's going to last and remain in the because you look back at some of the PS2 games of that era, you're like, oh my gosh, what are they trying to do here? And
right,
there's
those
realistic, yeah, like
they don't last long. They don't have an appeal to them.
Yeah, and so like Wind Waker has been such an influential game, not just for Nintendo and Zelda, but for a ton of other games. You look at games like Oceanhorn. There's another Zelda game, a Zelda-like game coming out soon. I forget what it's called, but it looks just like Wind Waker. Like you even wake up in your grandma's house with a blue shirt on, looking for your sister. Like that's how Wind Waker-y it is. So,
wow.
Man, I wish I could remember what that game's called, and it looked really good. I'm not like trying to say it's bad or anything. It looks really good, but I'm just saying that Wind Waker has been more influential than, say, Twilight Princess or Ocarina of Time, and you even see the influences in Breath of the Wild, where Wind Waker was kind of like the first kind of quote-unquote open-world Zelda game where like you could kind of sail anywhere you wanted and do things as you sailed, and the sense of discovery, and that's what we felt in Breath of the Wild. Whereas, Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword, they felt open. You could go anywhere, but you kind of had to take that linear path of like, okay, I need to go to this dungeon now, or I need to perform this side quest to get into this area now,
Yeah.
And Wind Waker kind of eliminated that to an extent. Now, you still had to follow kind of a linear path in terms of like, you had to do the dungeons, but then you had to find the Triforce shards or whatever, and then that kind of things. But in terms of like sailing anywhere and finding the little islands around the map and doing all kinds of other things, like that was awesome.
Yeah, take it for example, the Fire and Ice little island. Mm-hmm. Like that was like kind of a mini dungeon. If you think of it, it was in Wind Waker. It was kind of a shrine.
Yeah.
If you look at it from a Breath of the Wild perspective, that you had to have like your fire arrow and your ice arrow to even get in. And once you got in, you had to solve what was in there to get that item. I think it was a heart container in it. Yeah, and not only was it open like for the land, it was open in the sea because at times you would randomly like have to fight this whirlwind boss or whatever he is, and your ship would go around him. You have to make sure you have bombs and the boomerang, and you it's like this AI octopus that you had to keep fighting.
Yeah.
And when you defeat him, the world returns back to being bright, but it gets dark and it gets like rainy and stuff. There's just so much in Wind Waker that people just, when they play and they look at it, those who played it on the GameCube just get that nostalgia feeling. And what I love kind of why that game is still lasting is that before Breath of the Wild even dropped, people were having their kids playing through Wind Waker HD, or going through the Zelda series in general. People were, they were just like, what, I feel like playing Wind Waker. And so some people picked it up for the GameCube and played it. People who played it was playing it on Wii U for the first time. And a lot of people's response now has been, the people who have been angered and hurt by just the graphics at that time, they decided to play and give it a try. And a lot of people, it's one of those games that's like, I'm wrong about this. I should have played this game when it came out, because it did sell well when it came out.
Yeah, it sold well, and even on the Wii U, that it was one of the few kind of like quote unquote special edition consoles that came out for that.
Yeah,
and it sold well even then. But now people are like begging for a Switch version because nobody bought a Wii U, and that's not our fault. But nobody bought a Wii U, and nobody, for better or worse, got a GameCube. Like GameCube only sold like 20 million units, which in the grand scheme of things like wasn't a lot, because PlayStation 2 was selling like 90 million units, and even Xbox wasn't selling great. It's like that game's been regulated to systems that just haven't sold well, and I think it would be awesome to see that game come to a console. Like, that's one of the few ports from Wii U that I would love to see on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, we've gotten a lot, but I think Wind Waker is one of those games that deserves to be recognized for what it did at the time and now, and just get it in more people's hands.
I think it would be a nice fall game for 2018, like to announce it at like E3 and just be like, if you guys want more Zelda, here it is for the fall. Unless they're going to give us something for 3DS/2DS. I would love to see Wind Waker on Switch. And this is more of me just owning it, not actually really desiring to, let me go over and play it again, because I have it on Wii U and I still have my GameCube version. But I would just love to have this on Switch. And even if they do a virtual console for GameCube, I would buy it for a fourth time so that I have both versions. There's something about Wind Waker that I just hold so dear. And I hold The Legend of Zelda and all together like dear. Ranking them, me and Corey had this discussion so many times, but I'm a big person of animation. I love art. I love seeing it. I love drawing it. I might not be a great artist, but I love taking that time. And so seeing this game in motion, and then be able to take it on the go, and seeing it on like the Switch's nice screen, like, you could spend time on the train, on the bus, like traveling. Maybe while you are on the ship playing, you could be playing Switch and playing Wind Waker. Like, this game has done so much that I'm glad people are now, or people who remember back in the day still has a fondness for it, and that people who are learning about the game now is understanding that fondness of why people love this game, and it's highly recommended, and they're claiming this is the best game, one of the best games of all time.
Yeah.
Whether it's in the Zelda franchise or video games at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Wind Waker a lot, and I hope people get another chance to play it. Like I really hope so. And like there's been rumors floating around that we're gonna get the Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword HD versions on the Switch. Those rumors have been floating around forever. They're not like real, quote unquote, real rumors, but like people have been posting it in like Reddit and Reset Era and stuff, and there's been photoshopped images of the cover arts floating around, which are awesome, by the way. And like I think it would be awesome just to have that whole set of games on the Switch at some point.
Yes,
especially like Wind Waker makes sense. Like they all make sense, because Wind Waker is a game that's been underappreciated twice. Twilight Princess makes sense because of the Wolf Link amiibo and that functionality in Breath of the Wild, which 99% of the people played on Switch. And then Skyward Sword
that Twilight Princess remaster was needed. Yeah. Like I was looking back at it, I'm just like, this looks good on GameCube. I seen that Wii U version, I'm just like, good night. It look like y'all redid the whole game.
Yeah,
like it looks good.
Yeah, and like Skyward Sword, like we're speaking in terms of anniversary of Wind Waker. Like Skyward Sword turned 7 this year, so I mean, like that is a game that was stuck on a platform too. I feel like. Yeah, the motion control stuff, whatever, for that game weren't like whatever, but that game was also underappreciated because people were moving on to other consoles after the Wii. It came at the end of the Wii's life cycle and nobody really cared about that console anymore. A lot of people wanted to play Nintendo HD games, so they kind of just forgot about it. And that game needs to be on a platform too where people can appreciate it. Because like that game, like as much as people harp on that game for being way too linear and the motion controls and stuff, that game had a really, really cool quote unquote origin story for the whole, like, for the Zelda franchise. And I love the story that where they were going with Link and Zelda and stuff. And
yes,
I didn't finish it because of the motion controls and just the Wii U and everything. Like and at the time when that game came out, like 3 weeks later, my apartment caught on fire. So I was dealing with all that stuff. But yeah, that was these games need to come over to Switch for real, and especially Wind Waker. It just needs to be on a platform where people can appreciate it. So
yeah, but
I think that's going to wrap up our conversation here on Wind Waker.
Just one last thing, and we'll head out. There was a magazine called Game Now. It was like EGM's like strategy guide book. Yep. I believe I still have it when it had the Wind Waker cover.
There was only like 14 issues of that magazine,
and I think I have all of them.
Yep. Yeah, because it was like
EGM 2. And then it switched to Game Now.
Well, it was like, it wasn't Expert Gamer first, was it?
It was EGM 2.
Yeah.
That's what it was EGM 2. And then it switched to Game Now because it was owned by EGM.
Yeah. Because I used to get, every week I would get 2 or 3 game magazines because I got all the magazines. I got official PlayStation magazine. I would get the official Xbox magazine. It would Nintendo Power, Game Pro, Expert Gamer, EGM, and EGM2, which turned into Game Now. Dude, I was getting game magazines like 2 every week. It was great.
I'm so jealous of you because EGM and Game Pro were my magazine games from Walgreens that my mom would get. Like I would literally ride with her to Walgreens to make sure I ran to the magazine section. Anytime she needed to find me, that's where I was at. Like I was looking at that new EGM, just like $5 for mom. It's just only $5, and I read that thing faithfully. But yeah, Game Now had it, and they didn't give you the full game. They kind of started you off, but I remember owning that. I remember having that cover on Game Now, and it was just like, man, I couldn't wait to get to buy it. And I bought Wind Waker, and having your own job and everything is like you're able to buy more stuff like that. So yeah, I just had to say that because that I'm so happy. Happy birthday, Wind Waker. Great,
Yes.
happy anniversary.
Yes. Happy birthday, Wind Waker. I hope that you please many Zelda fans to come. And with that said, this has been Expansion Pack. Remember, you can find Expansion Pack every Monday here on youtube.com/NGRradio. Like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, we love you.
Bye, everybody.
Play Wind Waker.